It was Carl Grave. Please help me welcome Carl. Thank you, Carl.
Well, good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure today to introduce Jessica. She is a new engineer at Consumers on her second rotation in the engineering entry program in gas compression, I believe.
Actually, I'm on my first.
Your first?
My next rotation.
Your next rotation. Okay. And she is also a new Toastmaster inducted just this past August. And although she's new to Consumers and new to Toastmasters, she's already participated in the meetings by fulfilling several meeting roles, table topics. And now today she's going to complete the first project in the Competent Communication Manual, the Icebreaker. Today's speech is going to be 5 to 7 minutes, so please timer cards at 5, 6, and 7 minutes. And Jessica is going to tell us a few things about herself in what could be a Bafo speech titled Me in 5 Minutes. Please welcome Jessica.
So as Carl said, I'm going to give you an introduction of myself. Well, at least what I can give anyway in 5 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through from where I grew up, my schooling career through high school, college, and engineering, and how I got here, and how I got to Toastmasters. Starting off, I actually grew up in a town called Wayland. It's about halfway between Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo, to give you a bit of a reference. I have one older brother and one older sister, and my older sister has one daughter and one son. And kind of how I got to figure out what I wanted to do in my life actually came from what my parents did. My father actually worked in auto recycling, which is basically recycling old cars to reuse the metal and that type of stuff. And I actually worked with him for about 4 years, so that got me really interested in the mechanical workings and functionality of a lot of different devices. And my mom was always good in math and sciences. So that actually kind of got me going in the engineering direction because I was always good in math and science, and that kind of just brought me to engineering. And the way that I actually started out with this was I actually started in high school. My high school actually had a manual drafting and CAD program, so I participated in that for about 2 years. And then I actually did dual enrollment in a vocational school when I did CAD and design, so that got me into a little bit more of the engineering track and kind of really grounded the idea that I wanted to go for mechanical engineering. So after that, I decided to go to Western Michigan University for my degree. This school was fairly close to home, and it just made sense for me. So while I was there, I had several internships, and I also worked as a teaching assistant for 4 years for a CAD and drafting class. Now, after that, going through some of my courses, I actually found out that I really liked fluid dynamics and mechanics. So when I actually got into Consumers Energy and learned more about the gas side of the business, it got me really interested in Consumers Energy, and I interviewed for an internship here, and I actually got a position as an intern in pipeline engineering on GAM, and I really enjoyed that. So the following fall, when they had interviews for the engineering entry program to get into engineering here at Consumers, I went ahead and interviewed that, and apparently I was very Bafo during the interview because I got offered a position here. And I was quite excited when I got that offer. And I did decide to accept that, obviously. But I accepted that, and I actually started on June 1st of this year, so I've been here almost 4 months now. And currently I am working on the GAM side in metering and regulation. So I work with Jeremy Willett in his department. And my next rotation will be in compression engineering with Charlie Bunnell. I'm also looking forward to that. And after those 2 rotations, I'm not really sure where I'm going to go, but every job that I've had on the gas side, I very much enjoyed. So I'm sure wherever I end up, I will enjoy that. And that brings me to where I am today. As far as my personal life goes, I am engaged to a guy called John Van Dussen. I've actually been with him for a total of 6 years. The last 3 we have been engaged. So we waited until after I got done with college to actually get married. And right now I'm working on planning our wedding at the end of next July. And I'm getting extremely excited. I've already got a bunch of decorations and all of that. Looking for a really nice place to have the wedding. But I do have a few days in mind, so I'm hoping that'll help with that. And then for my friends from college, I do keep in close touch with most of my friends from college. Me and my fiance all gather with my friends every Friday night, and we have what we call game night. For game night, most of the time we play Dungeons and Dragons. It took a long time for my friends to convince me to start playing. But I started playing and learned that with my friends, it's actually quite funny because they do very hilarious things. So for our game night, we play Dungeons and Dragons mostly, but we also go into other games to make it, kind of mix it up and make it a bit more interesting. And coming back here to Toastmasters, I told you that I was a teaching assistant for 4 years, so I've stood up in front of people for 3 straight hours and talked in front of 24 people explaining them things. But the one thing that I've very much found is that teaching is a lot different than speaking in front of people. The difference between teaching and speaking professionally is so much different that I would like to improve those skills of speaking professionally in front of people versus teaching. Along with that, though, I would also like to have a bit more vocal variety when I speak. I can kind of sense it a little bit as I'm speaking now. I can sometimes get monotone when I'm speaking for too long, so I'm trying to work against that and make it a bit better. And I'm hoping that this speech, along with the rest of them, will help improve that. So I've given you a basic idea of how I've grown up, how I went through schooling, and how I came to be here. And I'm hoping that all the information that I've given all of you will get you more interested in me and come and talk to me. You can learn a lot more and help build a relationship. In this speech, I'm hoping that this will bring me a lot closer to my goals to become a much better speaker in front of people.
Well done. That was Jessica's icebreaker. Everyone could